Hey everybody, Hewy here. Welcome to another installment of Hewy's Animated Movie Reviews.
Gangster movies. There's nothing like a movie about mafia bosses and their gang members shooting other people over money, territory, and family. Films like Bonnie and Clyde, Goodfellas, The Godfather, and Scarface are considered classics of this great genre.
But there is one gangster film that seems very underrated. Why? Well, it is an animated film directed by Don Bluth, and it's about dogs.
That's right. Released on November 17th, 1989, the movie is All Dogs Go to Heaven. The film starts off in 1939 Louisiana, where the main character, Charlie Barkins, and his friend Itchiford are escaping from the pound, which looks an awful lot like Alcatraz.
Damn! People were really strict about impounding their dogs back then.
Charlie's voice is provided by comedian Burt Reynolds, and Itchy is voiced by comedian Dom DeLuise.
I can't help it, Charlie. I itch when I'm nervous. Well, don't be nervous. Just scratch this.
In live-action films such as The Cannonball Run, Dom and Burt also play as friends and partners like in this movie. Nice casting. After Charlie and Itchy escape from the pound, they end up at a dog casino co-owned by Charlie. There, he explains his lucky life by singing, "You Can't Keep a Good Dog Down."
You can't keep a good dog down. No, you can't keep a good dog down. I've been bought and sold. He's been warm and cold.
This is a really fun song. I can never stop listening to it. Charlie's business partner, Carface, is the villain in this film. He has a lackey named Killer, voiced by the late Charles Nelson Riley.
Look, Mr. Carface, boss, I know what you're thinking, but I don't know nothing about this. We set him up for good.
As we find out, Carface has had it with Charlie and wants to run the casino by himself, so he decides to throw him a fake going-away party during Mardi Gras, where he gets him good and drunk.
Huh, I never knew dogs could get drunk. Or smoke. Or gamble. Anyway, what happens next?
Goodbye, Charlie.
Can't keep a good dog down.
What the hell?!
They just killed off the main character! Never in the film have they killed off the main character in the beginning of the film! Well, except for maybe Psycho. But this is a kid's movie!
Well, I guess that's how the movie ends.
Nope, the movie ain't over yet. After Charlie is killed, he ends up in a dog version of heaven. There, he meets a whippet angel, who will later be known as Annabelle. She basically explains to Charlie that he is dead, and he isn't too happy about it.
He killed me.
I beg your pardon.
A mistake been made here.
She then explains to Charlie that everyone's life depends on a watch, and his has stopped apparently.
Well, can't you just wind it up or something?
And send you back? Oh, no. No one's ever allowed to go back.
But Charlie snatches the watch and winds it back anyway, sending him back to Earth.
You can never come back.
Back on Earth, Charlie reunites with Itchy and decides to go back to the casino to find out how Carface always wins the bets on his rat races. They sneak through the air vents of the casino and discover that Carface is keeping a human girl named Anne-Marie, voiced by Judith Barcy. You know, the little girl from Jaws the Revenge.
Hi, Mr. Longtail. How are you today?
Now it appears that Anne-Marie has Dr. Doolittle Syndrome, meaning she's able to talk to animals. Carface uses her gift to cheat on the rat races. Seeing this, Charlie gets the idea to rescue the little girl. Charlie tells Anne-Marie that he and Itchy want to use her gift to help the poor and to find her a family. Instead, they use it on horse races, frog races, kangaroo boxing, and turtle racing. Making so much money, Charlie decides to build his own casino out of old cars and calling it Charlie's. Later on, Charlie introduces Anne-Marie to who appears to be Charlie's girlfriend and her children.
It's nice of you to come by. We don't see much of you anymore.
Well, you know how it is. I got a business to run.
Meanwhile, Anne-Marie discovers that Charlie had stolen a wallet from a young couple earlier. She gets very upset because Charlie had stolen it. Later, she sings her own song, "Soon You'll Come Home."
Soon you'll come home, home to my heart.
It's actually a very touching song. After the song, Charlie has a dream about Annabelle's warning and ends up in
with this movie?
First they showed Charlie getting killed, now they show us this nightmare! This is just horrifying! Don't you know little kids watch this movie? Anyway, Charlie wakes up to find that Anne-Marie had run off to see the family that Charlie had stole the wallet from. She looks a lot happier there than with Charlie. But Charlie eventually convinces her to come back with him. But Carface has discovered that Charlie is still alive and attempts to kill him.
I'm surrounded by morons!
After escaping Carface's firepower, Charlie and Anne-Marie somehow wind up captured by a primitive rat tribe and are sacrificed to a homosexual alligator king. But
Ow!
after Charlie nearly causes my eardrums to bleed, we then hear another song, sung by the gay alligator called Let's Make Music Together.
It's not what it sounds like, people. It's not what it sounds like.
Let's make music together. Let's make sweet harmony. Oh.
By the way, King Gator is voiced by Ken Page, who would later do the acting and singing voice of Oogie Boogie in The Nightmare Before Christmas.
You really are too much.
Later on, Anne-Marie has become very sick, almost to the point that she could die. Itchy comes back, but looks pretty beaten up. He tells Charlie that Carface has destroyed the casino and threatened to kill him. After hearing Itchy say he'd gone soft, Charlie lies about not caring about Anne-Marie at all.
With her, it's just business. It's always been business. I'm using the girl.
Unfortunately, Anne-Marie overhears all this, runs away, and is captured by Carface. Charlie discovers that Anne-Marie is being held prisoner in Carface's casino, only to discover that it was all a trap and is bound and gagged to an anchor. Fortunately, the gay alligator king comes to the rescue. During the fight, oil spills over a generator, causing it to spit sparks and setting the oil on fire. Anne-Marie falls into the water along with Charlie's watch. But Charlie decides to save Anne-Marie first and puts her on a piece of wood where she can float to safety. But it is too late for him to retrieve his watch as it stops ticking. Later that night, Charlie's spirit from hell visits Anne-Marie's new home with the wallet couple, but then is greeted by the soothing voice of Annabelle. Since Charlie sacrificed his life to save the little girl, he is now allowed back into heaven. Now, I really like this film. It was pretty good for its time, but when it was first released, it didn't really do so well, since it was eclipsed by Walt Disney's The Little Mermaid. But at least it was better than what Don Bluth made afterwards. In the case of two exceptions, that is. And over the years, this movie has gained a strong cult following. Years later, there would be a sequel, a TV series, and a straight-to-video Christmas special. But sadly, this would be Judith Barcy's last film. A few months later, her father murdered her and her mother while they were in their sleep. She was only 10 years old. Overall, this movie is Don Bluth's last hurrah of the 80s, and it definitely went out with a bang. I give it 3.5 stars out of 5.
Well, that's all for now. Be sure to join me next time, where I'll have my first ever co-guest reviewer. See you at the movies. Anime movies, that is.
The tears we